You're getting ready for a night out with your bro, and you just sprayed on some cologne. But now you're watching in slow motion as his wrists meet, the ultimate cologne sin. Do you say anything? Or maybe it doesn't even matter, and saying anything would just do more damage to your friendship than wearing the worst cologne in the world would. I'm going to present you the evidence that I have and try to get you on my team when it comes to this age-old debate of wrist rubbing and cologne. When you pick up any standard bottle of cologne, you'll likely see a percentage on it. And that percentage is just an indicator of what percentage of the bottle is made up of fragrance concentrates or oils. This just means that out of 100% of the bottle, 20% is actual fragrance concentrates or oils. So the rest of that, makeup of the bottle is just ethanol, alcohol. That alcohol creates a system and a sort of workflow that allows the spray to spread evenly across your skin, across a surface. If it wasn't for that alcohol, you could kind of imagine it closer to like olive oil almost, how that would spread across your skin. The alcohol kind of enables a sort of even spray, an even mist. This alcohol also has the added utility of actually preserving the ingredients. And it also helps the sort of mixture of oils and ingredients. If you imagine, yourself making a salad and you mix oil and balsamic, you can imagine they might not mix very well. They kind of dance around each other. For simplicity and educational purposes, I will draw a bridge between fragrance oils and cooking oils. Just bear with me. When you put a pan on the stovetop and you spray your cooking oil, and then you turn up the heat, what happens? The higher the heat, the faster and more aggressively the oils will fade, burn, evaporate. The faster the sort of lifespan of that cooking oil reaches its conclusion. In that same way, the hotter the temperature is outside, or the warmer the surface of your skin is, the more short-lived that cologne's sort of lifespan or story will be. Heat is almost like a fast-forward button. The more of a multiplier of heat you apply, the more times you're pressing that fast forward button. So it's just gonna run through its story quicker, the notes will expire and evaporate faster. Sure, some notes last longer than others. If you could imagine a sample of bergamot and a sample of oud, the oud's gonna last longer, but the idea still applies to both. They'll both conclude their stories at a faster rate than if they were sitting in the shade or a cool, dry place. I think this is one of the main reasons why in the sort of space of fragrances, freshies are notorious for being short-lived. It's not just because the actual ingredients themselves are short-lived, it's because the actual environments we often wear them in are very aggressive towards those smells. All these sort of heat elements take an already volatile scent profile of a freshie and then they accelerate it even faster. Imagine you're taking a lakeside walk in the middle of summer with a short sleeve shirt, your skin's sweaty, you've sprayed on pulse points, it's hot, you can feel your skin is burning. That's kind of like having the temperature up to 9. And then if you put that against something else with different notes, let's say you're wearing something oud leaning, and it's the middle of winter and you're going on a coffee run and it's cloudy and it's cold and you sprayed on clothes. Now it's kind of like you turn that temperature down to 3. So you're with your friend and he just sprayed some cologne and now he's rubbing his wrists together. How does this all tie back? When you rub your wrists, you're creating kinetic energy. You're creating heat. If you do it right now, if you rub your wrists together, you'll feel that heat. The harder you press and the faster you sort of rub, the higher the heat you'll feel on your wrist. Even if I do it right now, right? I just did that for like 3 seconds and I can feel the heat on my wrists. I can feel that area where they're touching each other. And the harder I pressed, the faster I turned, the higher that kind of burn felt. You're basically applying the oil to the pan and then turning up the temperature. And this is only a problem if you even spray on your wrists in the first place, right? Like, if you're spraying on your elbows or your ear and then you rub your wrist, this video doesn't even exist. Maybe you can make the case that it'll project better because it's expiring so quickly. But generally speaking, the idea is that these environments are accelerating and fast-forwarding the lifespan and story of these scents. When it comes to the artistry of fragrances, there's a certain journey that the artist of a given scent is trying to take you on, or a story they're trying to tell you. Some notes come out before others, some last longer than others. And I think that these artists kind of take time to craft this sort of journey, where Act 1 ages differently than Act 2, than Act 3. When you're rubbing your wrists together, you're basically accelerating this storytelling process the artist intended to take you on. The top notes are generally the more tender ones because they fade first, and they're also the ones you're accelerating the most because of this sort of added heat factor, right? So you're changing the story beyond what the inventor or creator wanted. Like, I'm assuming you're not going to stand in your living room and rub your wrists the entire time until the scent fades completely. So you're accelerating it at some points and not at others. You wouldn't skip the first 10 minutes of a movie. Maybe you would, I don't know. I mean, I've done that a couple times. You show up late and you're kind of like trying to piece it together as you go. It's kind of fun in itself, I suppose, right? It's kind of like they're just even trying to be more mysterious with their, exposition. But generally, you probably wouldn't skip the first 10 minutes of a film. You probably also wouldn't read one page from the first chapter of a book and then skip to chapter 2 or 3, right? You'd let the story unfold the way the artist intended, I'm assuming. Some people argue that the effect this wrist rubbing has is overstated. Like, if you think about it, we generally spray colognes on pulse points anyway, which are generally more warm parts of our bodies, right? Even if, like, right now I put my hands, my fingers, in this sort of area where we're kind of instructed to apply cologne, I can feel it a bit warmer than other parts, right? The idea is that you put it on pulse points because they're warm, because it will project better, right? It might affect the actual lifespan of the smell, but because you're applying it to pulse points, the projection, the warmth is going to sort of make it a bit more aggressive and a bit more sort of projecting. When you consider rubbing your wrists together and accelerating or sort of warming up one part of your body, is this just being overstated as an effect? Are we exaggerating for dramatic purposes here? Is a 2-second wrist rub really going to have that much of an effect on the grand scheme of things? And, not to be a bullshitter, but honestly, probably not that much, right? If you're going to spend all day baking in the sun, a 2-second wrist rub in your shaded apartment probably isn't going to make that much of a difference overall. But to keep things black and white, to not dance on the fence, to pick a side, I will take a jersey from the team that says, do not rub your wrists. There's somebody trying to tell a story that evolves from the top to the middle to the base. I would probably try my best to just keep the story as close to the source material as I can. Even if the sun dries out the scent, even if the effect is overstated, even if skin chemistry plays a part here, I can't personally find a justification for adding in another variable that wasn't called for. Why not just rub my neck as well then, and then my elbows, and then why not just rub every area where I spray the cologne? Yeah, sure, maybe the effect is negligible, but I don't know why we would introduce that if it wasn't part of the experience, right? I don't spin around 3 times before I drink my coffee. I just can't see the justification for adding more steps. I'm just gonna say, yeah, they probably know much more than I do. Let them tell the story, and I'll just enjoy it. If I'm standing across my friend and I see that he's rubbed his wrists, I honestly probably would say something, but very innocuous. I wouldn't even frame it as advice. I would just frame it as something I'd heard, right? But yeah, I heard online last week that if you don't rub your wrists, the cologne could last longer. And I think that's kind of all you can do. That's kind of all you can say, right? Mostly everybody hates being criticized under any circumstances, even when they're wrong. This is a personal journey for you, this sort of scent exploration, this evolution of your fragrance relationship. And I think it's as much a personal journey for you as it is for them. At the end of the day, you're still teammates on the roster of scent. You're both still smelling good.